Hi there everybody and welcome back. If you watched my last video, I had just arrived in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm going to be spending a few days exploring around and meeting up with some friends. Stick around until the end for an incredible experience I had sailing on a 40-foot racing trimaran. Enjoy the video. Hey friends. Oh, this is an emotional day. In a good way. Because I'm currently, funny enough, sitting on the porch of the house that I used to live in when I was here at the College of Charleston. Don't worry, no one's here right now. The semester is out, so there's no one actually living in this campus housing here. But yes, this is a historic house that the College of Charleston owns and allows students to live in. And I lived in this house for 2 years. Not only did I learn a ton while I was here at the college, I was a biology major and environmental studies minor, but also we were on the front lines of climate change, and they still are. The house I live in here is raised. Probably 3 feet off of street level, because when we get a really bad storm, or even just a normal rainstorm, the streets flood. And it's not just like a little bit, like you can get over a foot of flooding just after, you know, a bad rainstorm in some spots, let alone a hurricane. I think part of where this trip began is just being here in Charleston. It's where I learned and lived part of the climate change narrative there. I mean, obviously we still have 400 miles to go, but this is pretty cool. It's been great, you know, walking around downtown, taking the taxi over. There's a lot that's changed. I mean, obviously there's a lot that's the same, but there's also a lot that's changed. So I'm down here at the Battery in Charleston, and for those of you that don't know Battery Park, this is like the last point of the Charleston Peninsula before then you get to the water that goes out to the inlet. And first off, it's an absolutely beautiful park, and that it's a place that a lot of people frequent. It's got great waterfront access, and I came down here a lot when I was a student. You know, it was only a couple of days ago that I was on the other side of this wall sailing in from John's Island. So that was pretty cool. But it's been a lot of fun to walk around downtown, and went to one of my favorite lunch spots, Queen Street Grocery. You know where that is? Good for you. It's a good lunch spot, good breakfast spot. A major project they're doing here at Battery Park is they are raising the seawall. Now, they're only raising it 18 inches. But it's to combat climate change, specifically increased storm surges from more hurricanes and sea level rise. Now, if the water gets over the seawall, then there's not much place for the water to go once it's over the seawall into Battery Park and the rest of downtown here. So it's really a band-aid more than anything, but you know, they gotta do what they can. You know, coming downtown, it's a lot of the same, you know. Downtown still smells the same. And when you're out on the water for a long time, you get used to basically the smells of nature. That isn't here. You get the smells of downtown, so you get the sewer and the trash and all the cars. I don't like it. Like, it's shocking me coming in here. But one of the major things that keeps this town alive is its tourism industry. So there are lots of other small port towns all along the coast that have really suffered because they don't have tourism dollars, and a lot of their industry has been outsourced. Battery Park here is going to be one of the epicenters of the climate change movement, and it's already being shown. I mean, lots of pictures done by artists and news agencies are showcasing the effects of climate change through imagery here in this very park. Cars flooding out, waves crashing over the seawall, you name it, it's being shown here. And we're actually going to be taking the ferry back across to the marina very quickly here this afternoon to get some photos done with the College of Charleston, and then I'll be coming back later as well, because the wonderful thing about the water taxi is once you buy an all-day pass, you're good to go as many times as you want all day long. During one of my days in Charleston, I had the chance to meet up with local filmmaker and climate advocate Gray Gowder. He took me around Charleston to show me some of the challenges communities are facing and how the city is addressing those problems. Here, you can see us walking under Interstate 26, the main highway that leads into Charleston. The creation of this highway fragmented many of the communities here in North Charleston, and there was a push to create a series of connected green spaces in reclaimed wetlands called the Low Country Lowline. From their website, quote, "The Friends of the Low Country Lowline are working alongside the City of Charleston to create a green space that highlights the surrounding neighborhoods, addresses citywide flooding, and gives pedestrians and bicyclists a safe, dedicated path." Adjacent to that project is a proposal to update the city's mass transit with the Low Country Rapid Transit. This is described as, quote, "light rail on wheels." This would greatly increase affordability and accessibility for thousands who live and work in Charleston and the surrounding region. Lastly, we went down toward the end of the Charleston Peninsula, where the city is working to raise the seawall 18 inches to mitigate flooding. This is only a temporary solution, and there are disagreements between local, state, and federal agencies and organizations on how best to adapt to sea level rise long term. One leading concept, called Imagine the Wall, has come from a group of firms in Charleston and New York that focuses on nature-based design. This includes implementation of natural barriers that can respond and adapt to future situations such as restoring marshes and oyster beds. These are complicated problems with complex solutions, but that does not mean we should not address them. A huge thanks to Gray for showing me around, and be sure to check out more of his work. You can also find links to other issues and projects I mentioned in the description below. When you went to college in a tourist town, a lot of people just end up walking around the same places that you went every day. And like, I'm walking by my old science building in the library here, and I think of how many times I walked by here during school. Well, hey there, everybody. Still in Charleston, and you know something a little different about the boat? Yeah, there's like nothing on it, because like I've completely unloaded it, and completely unloaded it. So the reason I'm doing that is because this has been getting covered in salt water for the last month. And I figured, you know, it's probably a good idea to give it a good freshwater rinse. So I pulled everything off. Everything that needs a freshwater rinse is gonna get a freshwater rinse. And we're just gonna make sure everything is spick and span for the next 400 miles.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if
Don't forget your sunscreen, kids. You'll regret it if you don't. Speaking from personal experience, I've already burned a couple times during the trip, but I have developed enough of a tan now that it's not as bad if I get a little toasty. Although I did walk around without a shirt on for a little bit the other day, and my back's a little toasty. But you know, I asked for it.
jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
You get a new prescription, you order it from Warby Parker, it comes in a week, and then...
Well, everybody, I think this is a good place to leave things here for this video of our lead up to Charleston, some exploration around Charleston, and then leaving Charleston. From here, we're going to be heading up towards Georgetown, South Carolina. It's going to take a couple of days to get up there, but I think it's going to be a pretty fun trip here. We're definitely now officially, it is June 2nd now, which means that we're officially in hurricane season, so I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for all those tropical systems building up. But from there, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up, as well as you can hit that subscribe button to see more of my adventures along the East Coast. I've originally started this trip in Miami, Florida, going all the way to Norfolk, Virginia, to hear stories of how different people discuss climate change. So continue to follow along, and I'll see you guys in the next one.